Hello everyone, and welcome to another custom figure showcase. Now, obviously this isn't quite a custom figure, but who cares? Anyway, I'm going to show it to you. This is Cinder's gun from the Engines of War novel. Now, I've made this actually from pictures of the concept art for Cinder, with a few added modifications of my own, such as the stock. The stock is very different to the concept art, but I was limited by the pieces that I had at the time. And I've also custom made the Dalek gun, and I've also added some little bits and pieces on here and there. Now, if the batteries are going to behave, I can show you that this gun still has its functions.
Temporal lock device powering up. Power matrix operating at optimal levels, 100%.
So obviously, first thing you have to do is select the mode, and the first one is Dalek mode.
Dalek mode is now engaged.
So obviously, so it still has the Dalek light, and it still has its interior light effects. Obviously you can select different modes. It doesn't really... There you go, batteries are going in it. Anyway, I'll reserve the battery power on it until I get some new ones. Yeah, it has several modes. It's got Dalek mode, Cyberman mode, and Weeping Angel mode. And then an all-purpose mode. But basically, you see Cinder's gun in the... or you read about Cinder's gun in the Engines of War novel, and you have seen it in the concept art, or those of you who've seen the concept art will have seen it. Now, it seemed to be based on this gun primarily, this toy, which is the quantum... It's something like the anti-time device, or quantum locking anti-time device. Which was a small gun that was made just as a kid's toy. Now they did this one. They also did another version that had a port or a holder for like a smartphone. I think at the iPhone, and you could actually use the gun to play a game. To play a game, essentially, what you saw on the screen, it projected images of where certain enemies were, like Cybermen, Daleks, or Weeping Angels, and then you fire the gun at them and they disappeared. I never managed to get one. It's almost a bit of a shame that I didn't, really, because it would have given this gun a bit of interesting extra playability, but never mind. So, obviously, as I said, I added the stock myself, and then I made up stock. Well, let's start with the stock. The stock's fairly standard, to be honest. It's just some simple plastic piping that I've glued together, and then I've just added a few spares. These are actually segments of the 11th Doctor's sonic screwdriver. Those of you who will have seen... have I done it in a video? I'm not sure I have yet, actually. I made a bitten in half sonic screwdriver from Christmas Carol, where it gets bitten in half by the Sky Shark. And the reason I made that was actually because the claw part, the spring had gone in it, and so it was completely unusable. Unfortunately, I didn't have a spring the right size to repair it. So I had this half of the Sonic. So I thought, well, I'll make the Christmas Carol shark bitten custom, and so it ended up leaving me with these bits. So I added them onto the gun. You can see as well that it's not quite straight, but anyway, so yeah, I thought, well, I'll add them onto the gun. It's gonna, you know, give it a bit more detail. This part is actually from and that is loose. I need to glue that back on. It's actually from part of the Primeval set. It's a cable from one of the back of the computer screens, and on this side, I'm sure some of you might recognise this piece. That is actually the claws from the 11th Doctor Sonic. No idea why I put that there. It just was, again, just a bit of added extra detail. I thought it looked quite interesting. This is actually from the end of a lightsaber that I had from many years ago that sadly broke. So I actually had this end piece, so I cut it off, and it fitted nicely over the end of that. So again, it just made it a little bit different to the original. The Dalek gun is actually made from the same plastic dowling, but of a different length that the stock was made out of. And then these are just plasticard rods, and then I've just added an extra bit on the end. Obviously, it's not to scale as a proper Dalek gun, as you can see. It's not the right scale to be one, but it was the right scale for the gun, and I just thought it was an interesting piece to have, because the original prototype was supposed to have a little stubby Dalek gun on it, but for some reason it got changed to just having that, and it just didn't look as good. So obviously any chance to add the Dalek gun on it, I thought worked very well. So yeah, it's a nice custom, and it's something quite different to what I normally do, and it's a very nice piece to have as as an extra prop slash display piece. If you've got one of these guns lying around, it's something well worth looking into doing, because it does just make it look a bit better, and it gives it makes something quite small into something much bigger and much nicer to look at. So, as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favourite, subscribe, share, it really helps me out a lot, and I shall see you all with another video very soon.